Hello there my fellow Holo Table heroes, and welcome to another GeoTB light side video guide. You'll be able to find this and all my other TB guides on my SWGOH Live website. If you haven't seen it yet, then the link in the description below, go ahead and check it out. Now in this one I'll be putting through Raddus, through all the phases in the fleet zones, with and without Star Fortress, just showing you versus different opponents that I came across, like Droids, bounty hunters, as well as Geos, how it works and how you can get the job done versus these guys. Obviously, as always, a big disclaimer, this is GeoTB light side, so everything is subject to RNG that you're about to see, so just bear that in mind. But hopefully it will give you a good idea how to use Raddus once you do get leveled up, also Star Fortress. Now before having Star Fortress at 7 star, what I was actually doing, I was using Razor Crest in the starting lineup, because Razor Crest starts with these, was it 5 stacks of reinforced hull, so it's very tanky, very durable, and AI always seemed like it was programmed to go after my Razor Crest. My best commando Relic free there, so maybe High Relic will be even more durable. So just kind of utilizing Razor Crest to take the initial hits from the enemies so that your resistance X-Wing can stay alive, and then reduce your cooldowns for hold maneuver. Anyway, here we go. First battle. Definitely bounty hunters are I think the easiest fleet to take down in any of the phases, and they seem to be the most common as well, I think. So there you go. Everybody's ability block, not ideal, but as mentioned before, they keep going after Razor Crest. So as the first move, let's go ahead and clean up all these ability blocks, so we can now start using special abilities with our resistance ships. I'm just gonna basic there. Now just have to spam special abilities whenever you have foresight with your resistance ship, so you can reduce the hold maneuver, the cooldown on hold maneuver. Alright, they're going after Poe a little bit now. They switched gears for some reason. Let's go ahead and bring Race Falcon in here. Let's do the spin, keep using those specials. Lost Poe there. It's not gonna be clean and pretty, but you can still get it done without the use of Star Fortress. So here they get calm, bringing another reinforcement. Down goes Razor Crest. Razor Crest did his job, was tanking long enough. And here we go. Now I can go ahead, switch to offensive formation, which boosts their meter, as well as resets cooldowns on your ships. I'm going to put some buffs over on X-Wing, so it heals up. Okay, let's hope we get some dodges. Nice, more dodging, beautiful. That evasion up, and foresight really helping a little bit to dodge an attack or two. Then I'm going to bring in Hans Falcon, which gives foresight to your guys, so again they can spam specials and then reduce the cooldown on hold maneuver. I'm going to do an AoE to get defense penetration up, so hopefully we can do some more damage. I guess here you could unload the AoE, but I'm just usually holding off the AoE of Falcon until after hold maneuver, because hold maneuver can land buff immunity on the enemies, especially Houndstooth, and then big AoE can then wipe them all out. That's why I'm just holding off. There we go. Okay, just basics. Let's go. I'm going to now actually first let's again use attack formation, so we gain some bonus to meter, reset cooldowns on everybody. Now we pull off hold maneuver. Okay, hopefully landing. No buff immunity unfortunately there on Houndstooth, so we'll see if we will be enough here. Just keep going after Sandfuck in the meantime. So the Falcon trio here and doing great work versus these guys. Alright, let's just go ahead, unload an AoE, and it was enough to finish off their Houndstooth even without buff immunity on him. And now just the case here of taking down a Xanadu Blood, and there we go. That's how you can utilize your resistance fleet there until you get Star Fortress. Now once you have Star Fortress, then Star Fortress will replace Razor Crest in your starting lineup. The other reinforcement are very similar there, but whenever using Star Fortress, I actually found that it's better to have Race Falcon in starting lineup and bring Resistance X-Wing off the bench. So that's a slight change there in the starting lineup as well. Reinforcements, still the remaining 2 Falcons there work very well with this Resistance fleet. So this time I'm still here in phase 1, and I'm just showing a different battle here. I pulled Droids. I don't think I often see Droids. I'm like, you know what, let's just record this and show you how this works versus Droids. I'm gonna put Tenacity up here over on Star Fortress, and then I'm just gonna get some assists. Okay, they're getting Buzzies out. Not ideal, but we'll just have to work with it. Anyway, we do have a cleanse with hold ready to be used after we bring our first reinforcement, that is. Okay, so they're bringing, who was that? Is that spy? No, it's not spy. Geo soldier maybe? Okay, so I'm gonna bring in X-Wing. You have to get all your resistance ships out there so you can keep spamming specials. We got 5 stacks of sweet spot now on Hyena Bomber, so let's just go ahead, unload those concussions mine. There we go, unloading the AoE from Falcon as well. Just keep using special abilities whenever you have foresight on you guys. Okay, they're getting now offensive formation. Down goes Star Fortress. Same like Razor Crest, at this point you will lose Star Fortress most likely, as well as or Razor Crest if using, but at this point, you know, it's pretty much in safe hands. They only wasted all the big attacks, so now we just have to spam specials, which because of the ability blocks, once we cleansed off Buzz Droids, we can't use their special abilities unfortunately, so we just have to wait a turn. There we go, nice dodges there because of the foresight. Let's go ahead, spin again, let's gain foresight. That's fun. Okay, they're getting a few hits. There we go, hold the maneuver, ready, so let's go ahead and pull it. I'm going to again, so this now brings Hans Falcon, and this is a very nice combo. You do an AoE, give defense penetration up to everybody, so then when you raise Falcon goes, you know, there's so many buffs on Falcon there. She's got defense penetration up, so it's going to be a big massive hit right here, wiping out the board there. Was it a 300 critical hit, 300k critical hit on the main droid ship? Nice. All right, so moving away from phase 1, let's head into the phase 2. And here we again using the same starting lineup with Poe, Race, Falcon, Star Fortress, and the same 3 reinforcements. This is the optimal lineup for my testing, I think. So this we're going up just again against a standard bounty hunter team. To be honest, I really haven't lost versus bounty hunters in any of the phases with this team, so if you do pull bounty hunters, you should be good to go. Geos, on the other hand, they are a little bit more challenging, but anyway, we'll talk about Geos once we get to the next battle. Let's just focus on bounty hunters at hand, because bounty hunters, they don't have a whole lot of damage here to begin with, so your Star Fortress can really tank well. Just keep using specials whenever you have foresight again, reducing hold of maneuver and so on. Okay. Time to bring in our first reinforcement, which always is Resistance X-Wing. Again, using special, reducing cooldowns on hold the maneuver. Okay, heal the right back up. So we got 5 stacks of sweet spot on Houndstooth. So let's just go ahead, do concussion mines. I'm gonna unload my AoE here with Falcon again. All right, they're going. Oh, they switched to defense formation just to heal up a bit. So we will switch over to the attack formation, gain Terminator, reset cooldowns. We can go ahead, clean up this mess, and this is really the difference why this is easier to defeat, like for example those fleets that have Buzz Droids, because now we cleaned up and we're actually able to use specials, so then we'll be able to get to hold the maneuver very quickly, whereas those ability blocks do slow you down for 1 turn, and that can then cause you to win. That's really, I think, the main difference between these bounty hunters. They don't have any Buzz Droids on them, that's why here already hold the maneuver, got it out. Same thing, bring it will always call in Hans Falcon. We get all these buffs, defense penetration up. Unfortunately, no buff immunity on Houndstooth, so let's see. Yeah, it was enough. Again, big 290k critical hit on Houndstooth. It was enough to just one-shot the entire fleet. Definitely Race Falcon is super juiced up after Hans Falcon reinforces. So here we go, we're now in phase 3, and same starting lineup with Raddus, but this time I'll be pulling Geos. And to be honest, in most cases, win rate versus Geos isn't all that great. It's just because of these ability blocks, you can't use specials, so it really slows down the progress to get your hold on maneuver. Then if they get spy out, they get some big assists, Geo soldiers are assisting, so definitely these guys are a handful. Let's go ahead and help out our Star Fortress, just heal it right back up to full health and protection, just keep using specials. So far so good. Now this is probably where there's a bit of RNG, like they should have brought in a reinforcement there. Usually if they would bring reinforcement there, in most cases I would lose, but this time they just used basic with a capital ship, and this kind of allowed me a little bit to sustain a little bit longer with my Star Fortress. It's definitely win rate versus Geos is not all that great. You really have to have favorable RNG There you go, another basic there, still no reinforcements. I'm not sure what AI was doing there. Definitely versus Geos, I would say I win 1 out of 4, because usually 1 out of 4 AI is doing some silly things like here. So definitely versus, if you do pull Geos, it's gonna be a tough one. Maybe in phase 1 and 2 when they're not so deadly yet, but in phase 3 and 4, like, I wasn't able to beat Geos when AI plays properly. So still no reinforcement. Oh, there we go. They finally brought in reinforcement, and here comes some assist. Okay, by this point, you know, we are in pretty good hands, to be honest. Let's go ahead, hold the maneuver, which again calls Hans Falcon, gives us all these buffs. I'm gonna do an AoE here to get more buffs, and then we can hopefully here unload a big AoE. No dodging, please. There we go, we just wipe out the board clean. So that's how you can win versus Geos, but yeah, I didn't find it particularly consistent, to be honest, but you still have a shot. And finally, heading over to phase 4 with, again, same starting lineup, and it's going to be battle again versus bounty hunters. Again, just showing you bounty hunters, you can really you know, handle these guys well once you do have Star Fortress at 7 stars. There we go, they're getting a few hits out on us, and I'll just go ahead, again, use special abilities to reduce cooldown. Let's go ahead, their tenacity up over on Star Fortress, which will give them an extra stack of deflector shield, which means more protection recovery. Then it's got an ability that recovers health as well, so it can pretty much recover health to full protection and health. They're bringing the first reinforcements, which is okay. Let's just keep going. Now I'm going to bring in my own first reinforcement, which always is resistance X-Wing. So let's go ahead, bring it in. So we keep using specials, see if we can remove those buffs from Boba. Perfect. Okay, nice counterattacks. And now that Houndstooth's got 5 stacks of sweet spot, you know, we're recovering some protection with the Star Fortress whenever it's counterattacking, which is nice. You know, adding more survivability to the team. Okay, here we go. Let's go ahead. Use here again attack formation, and again see no ability blocks here with this fleet. That's why now you can just use specials, and then your next turn is hold the maneuver. Whereas for example versus Geos or Buzz Droids, Executrix there can also land ability blocks and stuff like that. That can really slow down for 1 turn your hold the maneuver, and that can be all the difference in a battle from my experience. That's why these fleets are the easiest to defeat. Bounty Hunters, luckily, at least from my own experience, Bounty Hunter is the most common fleet that I'm facing in GOTB, so hopefully it's the same for you. Same thing, pulling off hold maneuver. Unfortunately there, no buff immunity on Houndstooth. It's got still full health and protection, so it's going to be very durable here. But luckily we've got 2 dispels here. Let's go ahead, unload an AoE, see what we can do here. Oh, big hit, but wasn't enough. Their defense up on Bosk really allowing him to survive. But essentially we've got 2 dispels here with Resistance X-Wing and Star Fortress. So eventually, you know, they'll be able to dispel this protection buffs that Bosk is getting. Also can land some exposes, and eventually you will get it down. There we go. This ability right here removes buffs, so it was able to remove protection up, then deal damage to Houndstooth and defeat it. There we go, and this is how you can utilize Raddus here in all the phases, whether you have Star Fortress or not. You can get a job done with Razor Crest in the starting lineup that I showed you in first battle. With that lineup, like my win rate was about like 1 out of 3, obviously depending who you pull. Once you get Star Fortress, you know, it's very consistent. You almost win every time except versus Geos. Those ones are always a bit of an RNG fest and a struggle. Hopefully this video was useful and helpful. Let me know in the comments below or my Discord server. But until then, have fun, enjoy your life, and may the RNG be with you, my friends.